Hello there, and welcome to another video. If we've not met before, my name's Ian Walmsley and I'm the founder of Planning Geek. Now, if you're thinking about changing how a building is used, or you're just trying to navigate the UK planning system, you've probably come across the term use class. But what exactly does that mean? So essentially, a use class is, if you like, a category as to how a building or land is used. Now, without getting too technical, they are set out in what is called the Town and Country Planning Use Classes Order of 1987. But don't worry, they've been updated many, many times since that date. And as a result of that, they've kept track with how we actually use buildings today. Now, we can think of use classes pretty like genres, say from Netflix. Each building is assigned by its function or use, and this allows both the owners, occupiers, and indeed the local authorities to actually understand as to which grouping, if you like, a particular building should go in by virtue of its use, and as to whether or not you will need planning permission or not. So what are the actual different use classes? So they are broken down into the following. Use class B, that includes general industrial uses and storage and distribution. So for example, warehouses. Use class C is where we all sleep. So that could be hotels, for example, C1. Your house may well be C3 or your flat. Small HMOs would be C4. You also have things like prisons and other secure facilities and care homes. All these are part of use class C. So now use class E, that is quite a big one. And in all honesty, it contains most of the commercial uses that you will see on High Street. So things like shops, offices, restaurants, cafes, gyms, and also things like GP surgeries, nurseries. All these come under use class E. We actually got use class E back in 2020. So around the time of one of the first lockdowns, use class E was brought in to simplify the use class order. Now, F1 contains learning and non-residential institutions, so things like schools, libraries, museums, churches, public halls, all these come under use class F1. Use class F2 are local community uses. Now, importantly, we also list small shops here of under 280 square meters. And if you think about it as being the only shop in the village, that sort of thing will be F2 rather than that being use class E. Now, F2 also contains things like community halls, outdoor sports areas, swimming pools. All these come under F2. And if it does not fit within one of the former categories, it's a bit of Latin for you, sui generis, which basically means in a class of its own. Now, this is going to include things like pubs, takeaways, nightclubs, petrol stations, theatres, cinemas. All these come under sui generis, as do larger HMOs. So why does use classes even matter? Well, as I said before, a use class will help determine as to whether or not you need planning permission to change. Quite often you do not need planning permission. So for example, if you are going, say, from a shop to a restaurant, they are within use class A. You do not need any permission because it is not development. However, if you are, say, changing that shop into a pub, which is sui generis, yes, you are going to need planning permission. So you always need to check both the current and proposed use classes before making changes. Now, we also have things called permitted development rights, and I'll be covering permitted development rights in a future video. But say, for example, you wanted to take that shop again and change it into a dwelling, a C3. Well, you could use Class MA, which is a change of permission or permitted development right to go from use Class E to residential. And I'm going to be leaving a link to everything I've discussed in this video in the description below, so you can look it all up on the Planning Geek website. So if we can avoid actually using planning, it's going to save both time, money, and, to be honest, an awful lot of legal financial headaches, because you do not need that planning permission to go from, say, one to another if you can avoid it. So thanks for watching this brief video. As I said, there are some links which I will leave in the description below. But I hope these tips help you feel a little bit more confident about navigating the UK planning system. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. But if you've got questions or planning struggles or anything else, please drop them in the comments below and I'll be responding personally to as many as possible or using them on a future video. So until next time, stay informed, stay geeky. This is Planning Geek. Have a great week. Bye bye for now.